The city had fallen asleep. The streets were empty. The windows of houses darkened. Only the distant howl of a dog and the rustle of wind through tree branches could be heard. You had been working late into the night. The blue glow from your computer screen dimly lit the room. Suddenly, a shadow passed by your window. You looked up but saw nothing outside. Must be something moved by the wind, you thought, returning to your work. But minutes later, the shadow reappeared. This time it was closer, right outside your window. Your heart began to race. You pulled the curtain aside and peered out, but under the flickering streetlight, there was nothing. Just an empty road and that trembling light. I'm imagining things, you muttered, closing the curtain. Then your phone rang. The screen read unknown number. You answered, but there was only silence. Just as you were about to hang up, a whisper pierced the quiet. Come outside. The voice was so hushed and chilling it sent a shiver down your spine. You hung up quickly and glanced back at the window. The shadow was still there, but now it was closer, as if it had taken a step toward you. Minutes later, your phone rang again. The same number. This time you decided not to answer, but the phone unlocked itself. The voice returned, louder now. Come outside. You've been waiting for me. Your heart pounded. You backed away from the window and drew the curtains. But then the doorbell rang, a sharp, jarring sound that made you jump. Against your instincts, you crept toward the door. A voice inside screamed not to go, but curiosity and fear dragged you forward. You opened the door. No one was there. Only a cold gust of wind slapped your face. As you moved to shut it, the doorbell rang again, this time incessantly, relentlessly. You slammed the door and fumbled with the lock, but it wouldn't catch, as if someone was holding it open from the other side. Your phone buzzed once more, a text this time. I'm inside. You turned around. A shadow loomed in the hallway, creeping toward you. You tried to run, but your feet were rooted to the floor. As it drew closer, the air turned icy. Your breath fogged. And when you finally saw its face, everything went dark. You woke in an unfamiliar room. The walls were damp and moldy. A single bulb swung from the ceiling, casting jagged shadows. Dusty rugs and broken furniture littered the floor. As you tried to make sense of where you were, a voice hissed, "Welcome." It came from the far corner. A figure sat in a chair, its face shrouded in darkness, except for two glowing eyes. It leaned forward and whispered, "You called me. Now you're here. I didn't call you." You tried to scream, but no sound escaped. The figure stood, each step dropping the temperature. Your hands trembled. Your breath turned to mist. "You called me," it repeated, "when you answered at midnight, when you opened the door. You invited me. Now you're mine. Forever." The walls began to hum, a chorus of whispers overlapping. "You can't escape. You belong here." The figure reached for you. Your body froze. You couldn't breathe. When you shut your eyes, its face burned into your mind. Reality blurred, trapping you between nightmares and the waking world. You opened your eyes to sunlight. Birds chirped outside. You were home. Everything seemed normal until you looked in the mirror. A shadow clung to your face. Dark circles hollowed your eyes. Your skin was pale. After that night, the dreams began. The shadow figure called to you, inching closer each time. Soon you felt its presence even awake. You'd sit alone, yet sense eyes watching. One night, your phone rang again. Unknown number. You answered, and the voice returned, "I'm coming." The doorbell rang, but this time you didn't move. You knew opening it meant stepping into a journey with no return.